down the list. Next bill is Senate Bill 437, Senator Randy Robertson. This is the hemp regulation bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I want to first of all tell you I appreciate your help with this as we move through the process on SB 437. You and I have talked, and I think the changes that we've been able to meet get the bill exactly where you felt it needed to be, and I'm happy to speak to it.
All right. Let me just, these brief, all of these changes were discussed in our last committee member meeting after the subcommittee reported, and I'll just kind of give you a little quick overview of what we changed. You will recall Subcommittee Chairman Albers had pointed out that the current federal level of permissible levels of THC in hemp products is 0.3%. He wanted to make certain that that didn't change in the future, that Georgia would not be tethered, so to speak, to the federal regulations. And so we changed that slightly, and I think you got that line, Senator Albers?
56.
On line 56. Simply change the last whichever is greater to whichever is less, so that in the event that the federally defined THC level for hemp goes up in the future, Georgia will stay at 0.3%. The other change we discussed was that this bill gave enforcement authority to the Agriculture Commissioner for the new criminal statute that limits sale to people under 21. And on lines 25 and 37, we perfected that to say Article 10 of Chapter 12 of Title 16. That is the specific code section that we are enacting here. And if you look on page 9, starting at page 206 is Section 6. Under that it says Article 10, and then you see Title 16, Section 12, 240. That's referring to this specific statute. So in that, nothing changed in that part of the bill there. Section 6 is where it makes it just like tobacco products and alcohol. You cannot sell these products to people under 21 years of age, and you cannot purchase them if you're under 21 years of age. And it requires a notification put on line 257, 258 to customers in these stores that it is prohibited to sell consumable hemp products to individuals under 21 years of age. I had made a point that we have requirements here of folks selling consumable hemp products, or really any hemp products, that they have to get an independent lab to test those products, and they have to put certain labeling on those products advising the public that they contain THC. There was no teeth in the bill to that. That was not made an offense, and so at lines 197 and 198, it just shows that that is a misdemeanor if you attempt to sell these products without getting them tested from an independent lab to make sure there are not contaminants in there, and to make sure the THC level does not exceed 0.3%, and that if you do not label them as this bill requires. The final change dealt with the labs. We don't have the ability in the state of Georgia to go out and investigate labs in other states, et cetera, to see if they are doing their job properly or whatever. On lines 57 through 60, this has not changed. We discussed this full panel certificate of analysis as a lab report that comes from a lab that is not affiliated with processors and producers or manufacturers of these products, but it's also one that's accredited pursuant to the standards of the International Organization for Standardization, and that's a nationally known organization to basically certify these labs. So if you're producing the product out of state, you've got to get it certified and tested from one of those approved labs. Now, if you're in state, though, we have a little more ability to control, and I believe this is fine with the Department of Agriculture. Starting at line 115 under Section 3, Anybody that's going to run a lab in the state of Georgia is going to be required to register with the Department of Agriculture and is going to have to let them know where their facility is and follow the rules and the regulations of the Department of Agriculture. By giving them the address where they are located, that lets the Department of Agriculture inspect as they desire or need to do to make sure our labs are in compliance with these international standards. Those are the only changes. It's been very well received by the public. I don't believe that there was any argument against this bill in subcommittee other than one gentleman that wants to legalize marijuana in general and doesn't think we should regulate this subject matter in any way. Are there any questions from committee members to the sponsor or to myself, since I was involved in this committee sub? All right, hearing none, what's the pleasure of the committee? This is LC 550252S, committee substitute to SB 437. Got a motion from Senator Summers, a second from Senator Ginn. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, raise your hand. And all opposed likewise. Once again, unanimous vote. Good work, Senator. We appreciate your efforts on this, and I understand there are a couple other bills percolating around the Senate, maybe the House as well, that maybe can dovetail with your work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator